Being vegan is a lifestyle. It's not a trend. It's not a diet. It is doing the less harm or the least harm to self, to the planet, and therefore others and every living being, including Earth itself. And there are other things that we can also do regarding not using plastic. Diet is directly affected to our spirituality and how we feel, our vibrations, our frequency, our energy. And if you want to improve your well-being, whether it's mentally, you want to fight depression, the energy that we consume, whether it is TV or social media or even what we put into our bodies directly, affect us, but our energy also affects everything in our lives, our finances, the people around us, our family. And so therefore it's a total human experience. It's the spiritual, it's the mental. It has everything to do with your pineal gland when you're consuming electric foods, pure, straight from the tree without pesticides and GMOs, as natural as possible. Just getting to nature, which is very hard in this day and age. Getting back to maybe how we used to live outside of a manufactured life, even the pollution, in the air. Getting back to the purest form of self and what we used to consume and what the human body is where we should be going. Number one, to improve the vibration of this entire earth, to think clearly, to treat each other better, and to do better. And it starts with diet, an assessment of self, but also just being aware of all of the things that are out here harming us, how we harm each other.
Some of the changes that I've experienced being vegan: I'm no longer anemic. I'm intaking so many more healthy foods, obviously vegetables, nuts, greens, seeds that are iron rich. My doctor said, "What are you doing? You're no longer anemic." So that's the first benefit. And I thought you had to have meat to have protein and get your iron, and that's false information. So I no longer get sick. Dairy has mucus buildup, which is awful for singers. I don't get sick, and my skin is clear. I lost 30 pounds. I don't have to go to the gym as much. And I just have clarity, like I mentioned before. Everything in my life has benefited me, just eating natural foods. And the more information about the truths and the harsh realities of treatment of animals, as well as the process of manufactured food or meat products, including seafood, including the dairy industry, which I was oblivious to being a vegetarian, it prompted me to continue this journey, which I'm very proud of, but it's impossible to turn back because I no longer see product, I see process. But what I've learned, I would definitely recommend it in every possible way. If you want to see a huge difference in your life, give vegan a try.
How does a woman who's been in the spotlight since the 90s step into her mid-40s looking stronger, healthier, sexier, and more radiant than ever? Fans often wonder if it's genetics, luck, or something far more intentional. The truth is, Maya Marie Harrison's glow isn't an accident. It's the result of a radical lifestyle shift that reshaped not only her body, but her entire outlook on health, family, and even love. This isn't the story of a celebrity fad diet. It's the story of a 45-year-old woman who hit a breaking point and came out stronger, clearer, and more powerful than ever. For Maya, the wake-up call came during what she calls a toxic relationship. She admits she had put on weight, developed knee and foot pain, and felt like her health was slipping away. On top of that, she was dealing with anemia and even early signs of osteoporosis. Instead of accepting it as her new normal, she decided to start over, and veganism became the foundation of her comeback. She's talked about how shocking the results were, not just for her, but for her doctor. On the Legendary Jerry podcast, she revealed how conditions that once plagued her completely disappeared once she embraced a vegan lifestyle.
My anemia, just being a vegan, reversed completely, like
Mine
zero, no borderline anemic anymore, because I'm consuming more iron-rich foods. I wasn't before, even when I was eating meat, and so that was shocking to me, because you're taught you have to have this, you have to have that. Earlier signs of osteoporosis, which my doctor said I had like years ago, because I cut out milk which we're told is calcium
Yeah.
or strengthens our bones, and that's gone now.
I hate
So
milk. It's nasty.
I'm confused, because of this information that's not true, just to market to people stuff that's unhealthy and undetermined.
But this wasn't only about her personal health. In that same conversation, she got emotional about her family's struggles with diabetes, cancer, and high blood pressure. She made it clear she wanted to break those cycles before ever having children of her own.
Because my family is suffering from so many ailments, and I want to make sure before I have kids, after I'm not single anymore.
So you do want kids?
Maybe, but when the time is right, if that happens, I want to be armed and prepared and then arm our communities.
Right.
To take things further, she created a vegan starter guide and even launched community challenges to help others.
2, veganize your meals. There are all kinds of substitutes that you can substitute. 3, download my starter guide on mayamaya.com/lifestyle. Are in my free vegan starter guide. It's what I've acquired information-wise over the last 5 years. 4, watch the films that I list in the starter guide for a new perspective and a lot of information. And it will definitely educate you on what the vegan lifestyle is, from your palate to your fashion to beauty and all kinds of other things. And then 5, customize it. Have fun with it. Get involved in, community, even if it's via social media. There's so many people to follow and meals that they post for inspiration, and then invest that same thing onto your own plate, because we eat with our eyes.
She went on further to say this about her vegan starter guide.
I have a starter guide on my website in the lifestyle section, and it goes into these areas from environmentalism to energy, the facts that I've been able to absorb in my journey, to just kind of give people an idea of what it really, really is and how to do it, because there's no school, and the benefits of it. That standard American diet is also spreading in other regions of the world too, because of the fast-paced nature. And that's why I'm vegan, but I'm leaning more toward the healthier side of vegan life, because there's a lot of vegan junk food too that you can have a whole field day with. But staying away from a lot of starches and sugars, processed foods is the goal. To return to nature is to return to God, to return to true self, and you'll begin to heal from so many things, that energy and blockages.
Instead of expecting people to jump in overnight, she designed a step-by-step approach. First 7 days vegan, then 14, then 21, and finally a full 28-day month. She says that's exactly how she transitioned herself.
You definitely would recommend the vegan lifestyle if somebody's able to afford it, because it's definitely not cheap.
It's not true.
Shit.
Often in half, because I'm not buying a lot of the things that I once habitually ate, like the Krispy Kremes. It's either equivalent or it's cut in half or by a third. Fresh produce is a lot cheaper than the meat and the seafood. You don't have to prepare it. Like, I'm saving time, I'm saving medication. Like, I don't take any medicine, I don't get sick. So there's been a lot that I've learned about my body and how it works and what it responds to. And so my starter guide addresses all that, because I get asked those questions often. And just based on personal experience, it works for me.
Maya turned her personal healing into a roadmap for others, and that was only the beginning. One of the biggest questions people, especially women, ask Maya is, how do you stay curvy on a vegan diet? It's a fair question, since many assume plant-based living means dropping weight and muscle. But Maya has been quick to shut down that myth. In a candid Q&A session, she reminded fans that some of the strongest animals in the world get their protein straight from plants. She explained that dark leafy greens like kale actually carry more protein per calorie than meat, and that carbs like rice and potatoes are still vegan.
You can actually gain a lot of weight being vegan. For example, fries are still vegan when you're making them yourself, and a lot of carbs can plump you up. So it's very important to get your vegetables in just for your digestion. You can totally gain weight, be out of shape as a vegan. There's a healthier, cleaner way to eat as vegan, but it's a nice transition to have that texture if you don't like mushrooms or you don't like beans. But you can get a lot of proteins from your nuts, your seeds, your legumes, your beans, and your leafy greens, and even some fruits have protein, like jackfruit is one of the world's largest fruits and the world's richest fruit in protein, and you can survive off of that for a whole week yourself.
In other words, eating plant-based doesn't mean losing shape. It just means eating smarter.
Especially the ladies, how do I keep my curves and be on a vegan or plant-based diet or even a raw vegan diet? And you can totally be a bodybuilder with a vegan diet and gain muscle, because that's where some of the strongest animals get their protein.
directly from the source with no middleman. So, for example, leafy green vegetables, especially the dark ones like kale, they have more protein than meat per calorie. So all of that information is in the starter guide. And once again, it's at mayamaya.com.
At the BET Awards' 25th anniversary, she was asked about her glow and whether her vegan diet played a role in keeping her youthful. She admitted that when she switched to plant-based eating, everything changed. Her skin cleared up, her energy went through the roof, and yes, it showed on the outside.
And so when I exited this toxic relationship, I started back with vegetarianism, and I only did 6 months of that, and then I transitioned to vegan, and then something changed. And then I started implementing more whole foods, raw, plant-based, obviously, organic foods. Every 28 days, your skin, or actually your cells, repair themselves. So literally, you are what you eat. And when you're putting more healthy foods in your body, obviously, nutrition is important. Having a well-balanced.
Girls are still slaying even after all these years. She's been dancing and singing since she was 12 years old.
I started teaching dance at 14. Singing was something that was really so special to me and just runs through my veins, musicianship, etc., because of both sides. And so finally, after those rinky-dink little demos in the basement, my parents saved up $1,500. That's a grip back then. To get a professional demo produced by a local producer named Rome. And he was so very talented, made the tracks as well as wrote.
Miss Maya Harrison's diet consists of watermelon, celery sticks, potatoes, pastas, mushrooms, chickpeas, rice, and soursop, also known as guanabana. The list goes on and on. Her favorite vegan dishes are made with curry. She also drinks wine.
What you're already accustomed to, you can actually have the vegan version of. It's just all about the substitutes and the texture, getting the texture right. Because honestly, we love seasoning. Those are plants. Those are herbs. Those are roots that come from the ground that make everything taste amazing. The vegetables. You can make mock turkey. You can make your gravy without the animal stock. You can have your eggs with a substitute like chickpea juice or applesauce. Like dairy, you can do a nut milk like cashew milk or coconut milk. So it's all there. Then you now have vegan cheeses. Then there's the processed side of veganism, which is not so healthy if you eat it every day.
That's right.
Because vegan does not equate to healthy.
That's right.
But you make healthy choices within that lifestyle.
Maya often points out that veganism isn't about restriction, but balance. She's honest about sometimes slipping into processed vegan foods and then pulling herself back into raw whole foods.
There is a vegan donut place. I stopped eating Krispy Kremes a long time ago when I went vegan.
What's the name of it? Do you know?
And it was a sad day. But there is something called Donut Friend.
Oh, okay.
And there's one in the Arts District, but there's one downtown, and I just ran into it by accident yesterday, and I got 6 donuts. And when you see these donuts, because you can customize your donuts too.
What?
There's no dairy, there's no butter, there's a lot of sugar, of course, but it's vegan. There's not always healthy vegan food, so vegan doesn't mean healthy, folks.
That's true.
And I indulged. I had a donut today.
For her, it's about enjoying food while still protecting her body, her energy, and her curves. The 45-year-old says that when she's on the road, she is still able to maintain her vegan lifestyle.
Vegan is a lifestyle for me, so there's no other option. It's really easy. Call the airline, especially internationally. They offer vegan meals or vegetarian non-dairy, and you get your meal request in, or you meal prep. I meal prep. I had celery sticks. Like I prepare all the time. When I'm on the road, when I'm off the road, in the studio, it's just a lifestyle for me for many different reasons. But it's really easy. I've done challenges all over the world, from raw to alkaline to just straight vegan.
Of course, diet is only one part of Maya's transformation. To maintain her sculpted figure and stage-ready stamina, she trains like a professional athlete.
What I like the best is a fitness regimen, to be able to wake up and work out. Sometimes there's no time in the day, and I'll be working out at 4 a.m., or sometimes a whole week will go past where I'm falling off in the gym because it's so demanding. So there are phases and very little consistency.
Her regimen is intense, 6 days a week, up to 3 hours a day. That includes an hour of straight cardio, heavy resistance work for her legs and glutes, and stretching to keep her limber. When preparing for tours or specific projects, she's even done 2-a-day sessions, cardio in the morning before breakfast and another session before bed.
Specifically training for something, I have to work out twice a day.
So that consists of 45 minutes cardio at the top of the morning before I even eat anything, and then 45 minutes of cardio before I go to bed. And there has to be stretching and weight-bearing exercises in between at some point too. So that's when I'm sculpting the body.
During one behind-the-scenes clip for her song MONEY, she was seen grinding through weighted squats, oblique work, boxing, and jump rope, combining strength training with high-calorie burn cardio. That's the level of discipline she commits to. She's explained in interviews that she also trains with Nicole Winhafer, a fitness expert who specializes in dancers. For Maya, that matters because Nicole knows how to keep her conditioned and toned without losing her feminine shape.
Fitness, I train with a couple of different people for different things, but one in particular is Nicole Winhafer. She's great. She knows dancers' bodies. She knows a woman's body. She won't make me look like a boy and will keep me limber and conditioned for tour.
When you hear that she can spend nearly 18 hours a week in the gym, it sounds extreme, but for Maya, it's part of her craft. She sees fitness as just as essential as rehearsing a song or recording a new album. Maya's plant-based life doesn't stop in the kitchen. She's extended it into beauty, fashion, and even home products. Maya said that the only time she wears makeup are for performances and interviews. Otherwise, she is makeup-free. So guys, pull out your pen and take notes. Maya shared her secret tips on looking younger and healthy. The products that she uses on her body and hair are cucumber, shea butter, avocado, coconut oil, and mango. During an interview with Chili on VH1, Maya had this to say.
I started with cucumbers on my eyes. I believe like what you put in your body definitely affects your skin. I don't drink alcohol. I don't drink soda anymore.
Yeah, I don't either.
And that has definitely affected my skin. But I started experimenting with like fruits and vegetables and all kinds of peels. So I make my own stuff at home. Makeup remover, I just use coconut oil. For my masks, tightening, like I just use pure avocado and even mango, a nice tightening and moisture.
Like a puree first and then, or how do you?
Straight from the peel. So I just take the avocado out of its little dish, mix it up, and that's it. Even mango peels, I use the inside of the mango peel where the mango residue is left over, and it tightens your face. If I'm going on a cruise, I'm going to assume that it's going to be some sun out there, so I always pack my shea butter. It's great as a sunblock and a moisturizer. I have to have that.
In a What's in My Bag feature, she pulled out a striking red lipstick and proudly pointed out that it was vegan and cruelty-free.
A girl must have her lipstick. So this is vegan makeup, courtesy of Makeup for Melanin Girls, cruelty-free and vegan.
She also shouted out Hourglass Cosmetics for their wide range of foundations and even plugged veganessentials.com as a resource for people who want everything from makeup to hair products without animal testing.
There are so many options for people that want to use cruelty-free and vegan makeup. You can actually go to veganessentials.com and find a lot of fragrance as well as beauty brands from makeup to hair products, body products, all of that. Well, I like to use Hourglass Cosmetics, the best for foundation, and they have all different types of shades. But yes, there's so many options nowadays for cruelty-free everything.
This commitment shows that for Maya, veganism isn't just a diet. It's a lifestyle. Whether it's the makeup on her face, the clothes in her closet, or the food on her plate, she's chosen to align everything with her values. And it's no coincidence that her fans connect her radiant look with this very lifestyle. Now, let's step away from food and fitness for a second, because Maya has also been refreshingly open about her love life, or as she admits, her lack of one. She revealed in an interview that she hasn't entertained dating in years and has been celibate for nearly a decade. After walking away from her last relationship, she went into what she calls tunnel vision mode, focusing only on music, health, and personal growth.
First of all, I'm not dating. That's number one. I am single. Number two, to answer your question, I haven't entertained dating in a long time. Because
Why is that?
I've been in a relationship and I had to leave that relationship and I've never looked back. So I've just been in tunnel vision mode because I felt like I lost 2 years of my life and healing through releasing my projects and going vegan and all of that stuff. So yeah, I started my vegan journey right after that.
It's a choice that shocks fans, but to her, it's about discipline and self-preservation. She even joked in the same conversation that if a man's grocery cart is full of meat, he probably doesn't have a chance with her.
If he try to holler at you at the grocery store, you go give him a shot. When I say regular guy, I'm not.
Shopping cart looks like.
There you go.
no meat.
We see you, girl. That's how serious Maya is about her health. We don't blame her, though. Celibacy for her has been less about denying herself and more about making space to fully focus on her artistry and wellness.
The statement was committing to self and then what that self-love journey looks like. So over time, it was, giving up something and just stripping something away from your life as a challenge. And it started with food, alcohol. I like wine. I said, no, Maya, no wine. And then after a toxic relationship one day, I decided that, nope, I'm going to get back to me fully, no investing in anyone else. And then it just continued because I started seeing all these, well, first of all, mental clarity.
Right.
And then all these things blossoming in my life. And I was talking about a past tense challenge. I ran a marathon one year just to start sharpening my mind, proving to myself with every example and challenge that if you can do this, then you can get through anything. If you can do this again, you can get through anything. And so it was sharpening my iron.
It's the same discipline she applied to giving up dairy foods, junk food, and bad habits. Kudos to you, girl. For Maya, this journey has never been just about the body. It's been deeply spiritual. She often talks about how food impacts not just your energy, but your clarity, your peace, even your connection to the world around you. On the Hot Take Hotline, she explained that veganism sharpened her mental clarity and gave her a stronger spiritual connection with everything around her.
Some of the pros of veganism. Well, let's start with clarity in the mental space, even spiritual connection with the rest of the world.
That shift carried into her music. At the BET Awards 25th anniversary, she spoke about her record Face to Face, which she called a spiritual flex. The song was born out of self-reflection, looking her younger self in the eye, honoring her struggles, and celebrating how far she's come.
My spiritual flex, because, when you put in the work, it's about to be a problem when you step outside.
Come on.
She described literally returning to the same place she once stood as a 20-year-old, overwhelmed and uncertain about her career. Singing the same song again years later, she said it felt divine, like she was honoring both her past and her present self. Moments like that show that for Maya, health isn't just what she eats or how she works out. She also stresses on the importance of mental health. Having a spiritual life is crucial to a person's well-being. Maya had this to say.
I have a lot of solitude. Isolation often. I will travel solo often. Obviously, when I'm stationary, I'll use sound frequencies to begin to recalibrate, first of all, my nervous systems. I do retreats as well where I'll go detox my body physically, mental, emotional, and cleanses, fasting. It varies. I practice a lot of disciplinary challenges by stripping something away that I really like.
It's about living in alignment, spiritually, mentally, and physically. Today, Maya stands as living proof of how powerful a lifestyle shift can be. She went from anemia, knee pain, and early osteoporosis to glowing skin, boundless energy, and a body strong enough to carry her through hours of rehearsals and tours. But she's always quick to remind people that this isn't about perfection, it's about progress. That's why she offers her vegan starter guide, quarterly challenges, and ongoing advice to anyone curious about taking their first step. She made it clear her mission is definitely bigger than herself. She had this to say about her piece.
There's so many different ways. It does start with nature for me. I love animals, children, more pure spirits, and you can beat yourself up. So I do shut my phone off.
No, you should. Yes, you have to.
Sometimes I literally just leave the entire country and go somewhere else by myself.
So while some may look at her glow and think it's just good genes, the truth is it's grit, discipline, and intention. And here's the cliffhanger. If this is what veganism and self-discipline have done for Maya in her late 30s and 40s, imagine what her 50s and 60s will look like. If her journey proves anything, it's that aging doesn't have to mean decline. It can mean power.